Hello guys, I've got a big haul for you today. I've got 22 or 23 fragrances that I've bought. I've spoken about a few of them in various videos, but the majority of them are brand new for you on the channel, and hopefully I'll be able to do videos on these fragrances. So find out about this big haul of fragrances coming right up. Thanks so much for tuning in. I'm Sebastian, talking about different fragrances I have purchased recently. Before I get to the main haul, I do have a video that just aired a few days ago on some new-ish Zara fragrances. Go catch the videos. They're the extracts for Fashionably London, Ebony Wood. There's 3 more fragrances in that video. Water Lily Tea Dress, Energetically New York. These are 4 extracts. Unfortunately, they were pretty underwhelming. Not my favorite fragrances, blind buys. I'm familiar with their original versions though, but the one that really stood out was the Moonlight Whisper Intense. So go catch the video highlighting those fragrances, as you might find something that you might like, even though I didn't dig most of them. There were a few that I liked, especially the last fragrance in the video, and then one of the extracts. All right, let's get started with the haul video. I've got a ton of fragrances here, a lot of designers and some classics as well. So the first one I'm going to talk to you about is, I've got 4 fragrances that I bought from the house of BALMAIN over a sale during Black Friday at Neiman Marcus. Now I realize I should have bought a 5th one so I can do a top 5 of their upper end collection of fragrances. But the one that I was really interested in, the one that really stood out for me, is Celle d'Ambre, this one right here. So this, out of all of the fragrances I sampled when they first put them out in France, I was in France when they first put these fragrances out. Oh, by the way, I've opened a few of them. I haven't opened most of them. But when I sampled the entire collection, I figured that my favorite is Celle d'Ambre. Celle d'Ambre is super sexy. Absolutely loved it, and that's why I wanted to buy it. But when I didn't buy it in Europe, and when I came back here, these were priced over $300, and I was like, whoa, that's way overpriced for a 50 ml. They're still overpriced, but recently my Neiman Marcus sales associate wrote and said there's a price reduction on them. So they've changed the price. I think it makes sense that they changed the price because these things were probably not selling. But Celle d'Ambre is amber, Olibanum, Ambergris, tea, and Orris. And when the fragrances were first launched or announced, I kind of realized some of the fragrances did remind me of Givaudan perfumers. And now I think some of them are Givaudan perfumers. I'm not sure who Celle d'Ambre is, but it's super fantastic and super sexy smelling. It's amber, it's kind of salty, marinish with the ambergris. Absolutely love that. That's my favorite of the collection. There's a few that I wanted to buy the blue bottle one. I'm drawing a blank with the name, but they didn't have that one. It was out of stock for some strange reason. So there's VERT, which is actually a redo of a previous fragrance. This is fig leaves, basil, calypsone, blackcurrant, jasmine, spearmint, galbanum, musk, and mandarin. It's a very fresh green fragrance. I don't have the original to compare it to, but I really like this. It kind of does smell like a green herbal salad without adding the dressing, obviously, but that's actually quite nice. The other one that I've actually worn, no, we'll get to that right after, but the other one that is one that I've worn, I'll get to, but this one is Rouge. Rouge is the kind of a more feminine leaning one from Balmain. Let me know if you've already sampled these and if you've bought any of them, if you like any of them. This is Lilies, Osmanthus, Georgywood, Ylang Ylang, Iris, and Magnolia. So the idea of the note Georgywood kind of takes me to Givaudan. This is kind of why I thought the perfumers were Givaudan perfumers. Also, the blue one, which I'm completely blanking on the name of, reminded me of a Quinton Biche creation. I think this is a Quinton Biche creation, Rouge. And I think the blue one is also, but I don't know if his name is listed. But the 4th fragrance I'm going to talk to you about is one that I used to wear when I first got into the reviewing game in 2012. I had a bottle of Carbone in the original bottle, and the original was created by Nathalie Lorson. Very smoky, woody, dry, incensey fragrance. Let's see what they've done here. This is leathery. I can't remember if the original had leather. Most likely it did. It kind of slightly reminds me of a more powerful version of white suede, maybe a little bit hinting, but I think it's very modernized. The original was quite classic. The only ones that I remember wearing when I first got into this was Monsieur BALMAIN, which was the lemon balm, and CARBONE. Those are the only two. I wanted to get a bottle of VERT. I didn't get. And then, of course, there was the Ambergris one that I've been wanting to get, and they were completely sold out or gone. But glad these came. Let me know what your thoughts are on these new upper-end luxury collection of fragrances from Balmain. Add a comment below. So I'm not going to open this next one up. We've got a list of 5 or 4 fragrances from Tom Ford. Tobacco Oud. Tobacco Oud is a fragrance I found for a really good price. I bought 2 bottles. I'm giving one as a gift, one as a backup. I already have a few others that I've bought, but this is definitely on its way out. So if you are a fan of Tobacco Oud, get it. And I feel like it's that kind of dirty, slightly animalic, sweaty take on the tobacco fragrance from Tom Ford. I don't think it was ever popular, but there is a clientele for it. It does sell in Europe, or most importantly in London. I believe it's selling there permanently, but it's been pulled from the States. But, you know, at the discounters, you'll find them. And it's a fantastic fragrance. I absolutely love it. Featuring tobacco, oud, spices, whiskey, incense, sandalwood, patchouli, benzoin, vanilla, cedar, cinnamon, coriander. Let me know if you're a fan of that one. I don't think they'll ever bring that back, but who knows? Who knows? We'll see. The next one I've spoken about on videos here. It's Black Lacquer. Tobacco Oud was not part of the sale from Neiman Marcus, or, you know, dollars off, I think it was. The Tobacco Oud I found somewhere along the way, but the Black Lacquer and the next one I'm going to talk to you, well, no, not the next one, I'll tell you, but the Black Lacquer I bought with the Balmain fragrances, and it's one that I've been hearing a lot about. People seem to love it, but after testing it out a few times, I'm a bit underwhelmed still with this. So it's got a lacquer-like smell for sure. It's ebony wood, ink, vinyl, elemi, apricots, peony, black pepper, rum, olibanum. It's in that kind of resinous, smoky, dark fragrances like Myrrh Mystère. A few of those kind of smoky, incensey, resinous fragrances. So it definitely fits that collection. But Bois Marocain, I think, is one that I was thinking. And Ebene Fumé is another one that I was thinking. I'm not really sold on it 100%. But I have it, and I will tell you guys in a review, full review. Let me know if you want a review of Black Lacquer. I've already asked this, but I'll do it for you guys. But this next one, so my associates at Neiman Marcus told me that this Bois Pacifique is a Sephora exclusive. Turned out it was a Nordstrom exclusive, and I was visiting family recently, and there was a Nordstrom nearby, so I went and bought a bottle there because I found out on my way there. I want to review this one as well, but I'm not sold on this either. I don't know. I'm a little underwhelmed with Tom Ford fragrances lately. I don't know what's going on there. Nothing is too exciting. The last real exciting fragrance for me was Vanilla Sex, but lately it's underwhelming, and I have to be honest with you guys. I sampled Rose Exposed. I don't even know if I want to even buy that fragrance because I didn't really care for it. I sprayed it here, and it was so dark and peppery and bitter and animalic and musky. There's hardly any rose there. So, but getting back to Bois Pacifique, it's oak, frankincense, cardamom, akigala wood, sandalwood, iris, cedar, amber, vanilla. It's not very exciting. I think somebody that's into wearing kind of something woodsy and spicy, slightly ambery in the dry down, might dig this one. But if you're It's very designer for me, but more of an upper end designer rather than mass market. I think it'll find an audience for sure. It's a nice woody, spicy fragrance, but I feel like Tom Ford has given us some better fragrances. Who knows? It might grow on me too, but it's not one of the most amazing fragrances from Tom Ford. I think those days are kind of over, don't you think? I think for me, out of all the ones that I've spoken about so far here, is the classic one, Tobacco Oud. Super fantastic fragrance. Absolutely love it. Then Soleil Neige. I haven't opened this one up yet. I like this collection. I like the original in EDP. There's a lot of Soleil themed fragrances, but I guess Soleil Neige is the most popular, so they're giving us a Parfum edition of it. And by the way, they're also releasing f***ing fabulous Parfum soon, so stay tuned for that. I think that comes out in February. But I also did a video on rumored fragrances recently for Tom Ford. You can go catch that and find out more about some rumored fragrances. But the FF Parfum is confirmed and for sure coming out. So let's try Soleil Neige Parfum and see what it's all about. Well, it's orange blossom, woodsy notes, bergamot, carrot seeds, mandarin, vanilla, amber, and rose. To me, it smells a bit tropical, even though I don't see much in the way of tropical notes listed. Quite ambery. It's very bright, and unfortunately, giving me shampoo vibes. Not in a bad way, in a good way, but more like a luxurious, like more European shampoos, especially France. Because when I go to France, I go to their drugstores, Monoprix, and look at all the products they have. They have some amazing smells, by the way, giving me more of a a vibe like that rather than something that we're familiar with in the States as far as products like that go here. But I'm also uncertain about that. So I'm a bit underwhelmed with Tom Ford post Vanilla Sex. Vanilla Sex for me was great. A lot of people did not like it, but I loved it. But since then, I'm having a bit of a difficult time getting into the fragrances they've launched. What do you guys think? Okay, up next, I mentioned this one already in a video. I was in New York City. I went to Saks and I bought this fragrance there. It's Gris Dior in the Esprit de Parfum concentration, which is basically an extract. This is my second favorite from the line, and I really love Gris Dior, although Gris Dior was not a love at first sniff. It used to be called Gris Montagne before. Now it's called Gris Dior. It's gone through 2 different reformulations since it became Gris Dior. And now we have the Esprit de Parfum. I really like it. It's a Chypre style with patchouli and Bulgarian rose. There's amber and Atlas cedar as well. Highly concentrated, very thick, and smells fantastic if you like a rose patchouli combo in a Chypre style. And also, I got some really nice gifts that I'll share in the future. I guess maybe I'll do an Instagram post, but I got a really nice Dior themed book and a really nice candle from buying this particular fragrance, because the Esprit de Parfum collection is quite pricey. So moving on to an older fragrance. This is something I've been wanting to get. It's Azzaro's Visit for Men, because I was a fan of Gucci Rush, and I discovered that this is kind of similar to Gucci Rush. What do you think? Have you guys compared? Azzaro Visit for Men. Let's quickly smell it. I'm not smelling the Dior Gris Dior Esprit de Parfum because we already know what the fragrance smells like. Although, it's the higher concentration. But Visit for Men does have the vibe of the Gucci Rush. Gucci Rush I wore 2 bottles of, and I can't find a bottle. I have Gucci Envy. Both of the fragrances were Tom Ford creative directed fragrances. This does remind me of it. It's slightly different, but it gives me that vibe. This has Lebanon cedar, and I think Gucci Rush was a cedar bomb, and I think it's giving me that vibe. But also, it's giving me a little bit of a vibe of Individuel from Mont Blanc. I have to wear it on skin, but I'm pretty happy with the way it smells. It does give me the reminder of Gucci Rush. But the next 3 fragrances are from the latest Jovan fragrances. I'll do a video on these 3 fragrances as well soon. There's Skin Scents. These were announced, and I spoke about them in a video of up-and-coming fragrances. I found them, and they're around $20, anywhere from $12 to $20, I think, depending on which one. They're priced differently, or discounted, I should say. And basically, they're skin scents. If you like skin scents, you're going to like them. Make Them Talk is the first one. It's musk, lemon peel, woods, osmanthus. It's the bottle right there. Let's quickly smell. They're very light. Very light. If you don't like skin scents, you're not going to like these. They're also good for layering, I would say. It's clean. It's a bit citrusy and slight fruity, but very nondescript. Like, if you're the type of person that likes to wear fragrances and you don't want the world to smell what you're wearing, this is what you would wear. And again, I think depending on the notes breakdown and what you experience wearing it, you can kind of think about what it might go with to layer with another, to boost it up or prime it or something. The next one is I Want You to Want Me. This is, I think, my favorite one of the 3. This is rose, pink pepper, gourmand notes, and musk. By the way, this is a Coty brand. I've spoken about Coty recently. As you can see in the back there, it says Coty. This is part of their lower line of budget fragrance houses that they have. I like this one. It's simplistic, and I think that could be nice to boost up a gourmand fragrance or a rose fragrance. Again, all have musk, and additional notes to them. And the last one is Skin I'm In. And if you're like a, you know, maybe a nurse or a doctor, you want a little scent, they're not going to project. They're going to be very close to the skin. This is Blackcurrant, Jasmine, and Fresh Musk. This is my second favorite. The first one is my least favorite. This has a nice fruity muskiness. It's very clean. I think if you like fragrances like, what's the musk from in the white bottle from Initio? The fruity musk they have, this might be something that you would dig. These are like under $20. And you can actually use it to boost it up as well, because it does have blackcurrant, and I think the other one is blackcurrant or some kind of a fruit like that. So those are the 3 new skin scents from Jovan. Skin I'm In is the second favorite, of course. I Want You to Want Me is my favorite, and Make Them Talk is my least favorite. So over the Black Friday holiday, I noticed that Matthew Zink website was having a 50% off sale off of everything. So it's mostly men's underwear, but they have a fragrance created by, who's the guy that created this? Anyway, he's a Givaudan perfumer once again. This is the fragrance, and I've been wanting to get my nose on this, so I basically ordered it online at 50% off. So it was like $100 for this. What do you guys think? It's a very, very spicy, smoky fragrance. Smells great, by the way. Fiery, incensey, and very spicy. It reminds me of some 80s fragrances, but also animalic. There's a sweaty vibe here. But amber mask, benzoin, vanilla, Georgywood, silkalide, cedar, black leather, patchouli, elemi, cloves, cumin, mystical, nutmeg, prickly pears. Oh boy, guys, it's so good. So potent. Super sexy and very, very sweaty. Very sweaty. If you don't like sweaty fragrances, I would stay away from that one. But I think that that's going to be great. And it definitely gives me some vintage vibes. But more in a modern way, because I think vintage vibes, there would be a lot of aromatics in there, like, you know, pine or cypress or lavender and things like that. And I don't see that here. It's more ambery, woody, spicy is what I'm getting with that one, and also very sweaty. This next one was a cheap find at a, you know, discount store. It's Liz Claiborne's Curve Forest Woods. I wore Curve in the 90s, and I haven't bought a Curve fragrance for a long time, and this was only $8 for 30 ml bottle. And there was an open bottle there. I smelled it, and I was like, I like the way this smells. I mean, it's not anything groundbreaking, but it smelled pretty nice for $8. It's nice to have here on hand to pull out and smell along with the client sniff sessions and things like that. But it's cedar, fir balsam, patchouli, geranium, neroli, nutmeg, cardamom, green notes, citruses. Yeah, it smells a bit like a forest, but it's got a very modern DNA in the dry down I could smell. It does smell a bit like other men's fragrances of the last 10, 20 years. But with a very green forest-like edge to it. I like this one, and for the price, definitely worth having. It does have a very pine forest-like experience. So, Forest Woods by Liz Claiborne, Curve. This next one I bought from a store called Elizabeth W. I was in Carmel, California, and there was a store called Elizabeth W. I went in and they had fragrances. They had several different lines of fragrances. The one I fell in love with is called Ananas. Are you guys familiar with this house? They don't have their fragrances on the databases, but the notes breakdown for this is pineapple, bergamot, cassis, guava, lychee, jasmine, vanilla, ambergris, and musk. And no, it doesn't smell like Aventus, by the way. That's the bottle right there. It's just a very fruity, tropical fragrance with a slight bitterness of the pineapple, sweet and bitter at the same time. And then, of course, ambery, vanillic touches in the dry down. It wears nice. It's a very fun fragrance, and I feel like in the summertime it's going to be perfect. Let me know if you guys are familiar with this brand. I'd never heard of it, and I think it's a local Bay Area brand, and I didn't realize they had stores. So it's Elizabeth W. and it's Ananas. Okay, I keep trying this collection of fragrances, and I think it's my least favorite men's collection of fragrances. That's Armani's Stronger With You Intensely. Someone said it's really, really great. It's more gourmand, but I still smell the DNA of the original in there, and I never cared for the original. I think it came in eau de toilette. I think once you get past the initial spritz, it might dry down to something better, but I get the original DNA and I'm not a fan of it. But this is the fragrance. I ordered that from FragranceNet. It's vanilla, toffee, cinnamon, amber, tonka, suede, lavender, pink pepper, juniper, violets, and sage. Do you guys like this collection? Let me know. I think some of the more Middle Eastern ones are better, but this is not bad. It's not as bad as the original. Still, I can smell that original DNA, but there is a slight smoky. I think it's based on chestnuts, but they're not mentioning the chestnuts here. It's more like toffee, so it is a bit gourmand, warm, spicy for sure, very vanillic. But there's some light aromatics and spices coming in as well. Again, it's not my favorite, but I think it's much better than the original. But still, I could smell that original DNA, which I don't care for, unfortunately. But this one, I'm so happy to have gotten, but unfortunately I have to contact FragranceNet and exchange it because this is not spraying very well. This is Viktor & Rolf's Spice Bomb Extreme. I finally have it, guys. After years and years, people have been asking me to get this because it's really good, and I'm glad I did because it has cumin in it. It has cumin in it, and I love cumin. But look at the way this sprays. It doesn't even spray very well. So I have to contact FragranceNet and have them exchange this. I hate contacting them for exchanges. I had an exchange for another fragrance. They never reached back out, and the bottle came half spilled, and it was all wet and gross, and I haven't been able to get it exchanged. But this one, I'm gonna have to do it because the other one was like a $25 fragrance. This one is like over 100. But it's the original DNA, which I love. Not really love, but I love it. This is actually taken to a more potent direction and more extreme direction. And I love the addition of the cumin because I can totally smell it on skin. Might not be for everybody because people complain it's a bit more like sweaty smelling, like body odor. But it doesn't for me. I don't get that. The one I got body odor from more is the Matthew Zinc. But it's covered up with a lot of spices. So what are your thoughts on the fragrances so far? But the Viktor & Rolf Spice Bomb Extreme is vanilla, tobacco, cinnamon, cumin, bourbon whiskey, and saffron. And this next one I believe I already spoke about on the channel, but it's one that I bought recently, Dipped in Chocolate by Imaginary Authors. If you like a chocolatey gourmand, I would recommend this one. It's quite good. But I don't know, I think it was a limited edition, so I don't know if it's still selling. But it's like a follow-up to a whiff of waffle cone from the same brand. And it's super chocolatey, super delicious. And spicy as well. I'm getting cinnamon in here, even though it's not mentioned, but creamy, almost like Nutella style chocolate that is dipped in chocolate from the house of Imaginary Authors. And last but not least, I've got 3 fragrances that are for the ladies from the house of Estee Lauder classics, things that I wanted to have on the in the collection. So the first one is Knowing. Let me know if you're familiar with this. It's an aldehydic oak mossy patchouli fragrance, spicy. Mom wore this one. It smells great. It's a bit on the green side too because it has green notes, but it's very aldehydic. Does this one remind me a little bit of Devon from... Which is the one that reminds me of Devon? There's a woman's fragrance from Estee Lauder that's kind of similar to Aramis Devon. Quite nice. It's not super feminine because some of the notes in here, but yeah, it's a ladies targeted release. But if you aren't aware, a lot of Estee Lauder brands had a feminine version of a fragrance, and there was a male counterpart, mostly from Aramis. The next one is Eau de Private Collection, comes in this box. So I think the reason I bought these is because Estee Lauder recently launched those Frederic Malle reimagined Estee Lauder fragrances, and I really, really love Private Collection. It's super amazing. Very, very beautiful fragrance. And I kind of liked a lot of those fragrances, but they were so overpriced. $300 almost? No. And these were like around $30, $40, $50 for each of the bottles. But this Eau de Private Collection is super amazing. It's orange blossom, patchouli, honeysuckle, ylang ylang, coriander, jasmine, and sandalwood. What a gorgeous fragrance it is. Smells like the stems of a green plant, but more with like the addition of flowers around it. So gorgeous, so beautiful. It's a very spring, almost like reminds me of Easter or something. And last but not least, it's White Linen. Yeah, these are 3 classic Estee Lauder fragrances. Let me know if you're familiar with them. Probably your mom wore, or maybe if you were a mom, you're older, maybe you wore these, or maybe you still wear it because you like classic fragrances. Let me know your thoughts. But this is aldehydes, hyacinth, oak moss, carnation, vetiver, lily of the valley, cedar, rose, lilac, iris. This is total aldehyde bomb with a kind of a spring floral background. My least favorite of the three, actually. I like aldehydes, but they're not my all-time favorite notes. Again, the Eau de Private collection is super fantastic. Even Knowing is really great. The white linen is more of that aldehydic bomb. Anyway, those are the fragrances that I bought today. That's my fragrance haul. Let me know what you want to see as reviews first on the channel. I think I'm going to hold off on the BALMAIN until I get a fifth one. And I'm going to get the one in the blue bottle. Then I'll do a top 5. I'll do a ranked list. But you heard a little bit about them here on this video. But let me know what you want to hear first, if any videos. I think most likely I will do a review of Bois Pacifique and also Black Lacquer. But do you want to see a review of Soleil Neige Parfum? And if you want to hear more about tobacco oud, go catch my videos. And then I am planning a video of the skin scents from Jovan. Maybe Gris d'Or, Esprit de Parfum. We'll see. But in the meantime, if you haven't watched that video of blind buys from Zara, go catch that as well. And if you have any questions here, do let me know. Add a comment below. Either way, guys, thanks so much for watching. Please like this video. Please share it. Follow me on Instagram and Facebook, and I'll be back with more videos very soon. Have a good one. Goodbye.